The vast majority of cheating that I see now is being done in player clubs in the slots, where people are stealing free play or working in concert with an inside person to load up a customer card with extra free play. Baccarat, depending on who you get to, is the big game for organized cheaters, simply because so much money can be risked on so few cards.
If you can track the cards, there's a big payout.
A big payout. Here's the thing. If you and I, Nick, conspired to steal one hand of blackjack, we're going to win one bet. But with the same number of cards, we steal a baccarat hand, that could be 7 bets, because everybody can bet on the same cards. And in some cases, 14 bets. And if some of the casinos in Southern California allow back betting, over-the-shoulder betting, you can have 42 bets on the same number of cards. So that's why baccarat has been the game of choice for the big cheaters, because so much money is risked on so few cards.
Which one's the hardest one to cheat at?
Well, that's a tough question. It's not hard to cheat at any game if you're willing to put the dedication in. Some of the great thieves I knew, they worked a little differently in the old days. There was a great old crew of dice cheaters. A fellow's been dead for years. I can mention his name, Glenn Grayson. And Glenn had a crew of dice cheaters. And one of the ways they worked, and they were very good, and they had all the guts in the world, and they knew when to move, when not to move. But one of the ways they pulled off a scheme, it was one step short of pulling a gun. They'd walk up to the shift boss on duty that night, and they'd say, "You know who we are, right? Well, you're in for 15%. And he'd nod his head, and you'd think he'd leave the casino. He'd go right there and stand behind the crap table. And you'd see if a dealer saw anybody do a move, slide the dice, put a cube down, add to a bet, whatever the hell they were doing. If they looked up kind of and they saw the boss just sitting like this, staring at them, they knew to keep their mouth shut. Okay, so any game can be cheated.
Do casinos cheat?
That's a great question. That really is. Because it used to bother me. Well, first of all, we don't cheat customers. We just have a built-in edge. In 1931, when they opened legal gaming in Nevada, there were 6 sides on the dice, 38 numbers on a wheel, 52 cards in the deck. Now, skip ahead 90 years, it's exactly the same thing, except for 6-5 blackjack and certain side bets on the games. So the casino has the same mathematic rate of win that they've had for 100 years. So in selected areas, small joints, yeah. But you're a joint MGM, you got 50 joints around the country. Are you going to take a shot of losing gaming licenses in all 50 jurisdictions or a dozen jurisdictions to try to cheat on a game and then hope that everybody keeps their mouth shut?
When you look at people, like when you look at cheating in casinos, is this usually like just one person or a couple of people doing this and then they go all over the place doing it? Or are these like really organized networks?
I mean, look at the casinos that have been targeted. When they get a phone call and the kid in the cage thinks he's talking to the owner, and the owner says, put $1.5 million in a bag and bring it to some guy in a parking lot. And it's been going on in casinos all over the country, all over the world.
Wait, so there has been some scams where somebody would just pretend to be like a boss and tell somebody else, meet me in the parking lot with money?
Absolutely. One of the big casinos in downtown Las Vegas, targeted for $1.5 million, joint in west coast of Michigan, $700,000. When it comes to an accounting thing, they've had vendors call and change a bank routing number, and they don't realize I got your bank information, so payments that should have gone to your electrical company are now coming to me, and I snatch that money up and run